Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep. With your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Tuesday edition of Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick with you on this, we'll call it a slightly down to flat morning, but we had a rip-roaring day yesterday. So as far as I'm concerned, we're still in the green. Got a lot to get to. We're going to talk through trades, what worked yesterday, what didn't. Well, I'll tell you what worked. Buying worked and selling didn't. Mish Schneider is our guest today. She's the Director of Trading Education and Research at MarketGauge. She would join the show at 8:35. Before I throw it to Joel, and Joel, while I'm doing this, can you share your charts, please? But before I throw it to Joel, I wanted to make a quick programming announcement. We've gotten a lot of feedback in the last few days about doing separate streams and all-day streams. Today we're doing both. Yes, both. We're doing an all-day stream and separate streams on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So you can't go wrong, okay? If you want the all-day stream, it'll be there. If you want separate streams, it'll be there too. And then the last thing I want to hype up before I throw it to Joel here is tomorrow, Jason Raznick is doing an interview with Cathie Wood. Why is that relevant to you? Well, one, it's interesting, but also we are opening up the floor to our viewers to ask Cathie Wood a question. I'm putting the link right now in chat. There it is. There's a link to a landing page. You can submit your question, and we're going to draw them at random and ask Cathie Wood your question. So there is the link. It's go.benzinga.com. It's right there. I'll put it again in the chat throughout the day. But there is the link. Ask Cathie Wood your question. And maybe we will ask it on tomorrow's interview. That'll be at 2 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time. All right. All that being said, let's do this. Joel, let's bring up your charts. How are we doing this morning?
Good morning, Spencer. We're slightly in the red by 3.5 handles at 38.95 and a quarter. We had a dip overnight down to 66.25. Maybe some turmoil in the Asian markets, but we rebounded right back up. Pre-market high, nothing up there, 39.0650. What we're looking at would be yesterday's high, Monday's high at 39.12, and then kind of opens up after there. We could get that rally. Dennis and Spencer were talking about if we can clear that 39.12. Gold trying to distance itself from 1,700 down to 0460, back up at 33.5, up $11. Silver going the opposite way. That's down just a little bit less than a cent, about 6 cents to 26.61. Bitcoin quiet range here, $2,000 range. Got over 50 and under 49, but we're hanging at 49,300. That's in the futures. So Triple D, we're going to bring you on here. Some retail earnings after the close. Rocket is blasting off. We got a lot to talk about here.
Yeah, the rocket ship is off. Congratulations to everyone who's been holding on to that one. I sold it back in the last short squeeze. I think it's another short squeeze. I mean, you obviously have the special dividend, good earnings, so you get that, that earnings momentum going. But they're talking about it over on Reddit. I'm looking for a headline to see why it's up another 15% today. I'm going to give Reddit the credit because I don't really see the headline from last night that's driving the stock. It was up all night. It's up, continued here this morning. I think Reddit's squeezing this one.
Credit to Reddit. That could be
credit to Reddit. I like that. Okay, you Reddit traders. You got the rocket ship going here. I'm sure Jason Raznick pretty happy about this one. Thoughts here, Joel? I mean, this has been a stock that has been a dog for a long time, but now it's breaking out. It's through that critical level, that 25.55 high that it made back on the last short squeeze. So you start thinking you got 28, maybe you got 30. I mean, obviously we don't know when these things end. But it seems like once they get going, they can go for a little bit. So I don't know if I'm not chasing up 15% here today, but if you're in it, well, we don't give investment advice, but I think it's got a shot at 30. I think it's come this far. So it's tough though. When Reddit's, there's a whole different animal. I'm learning, when retail grabs a hold of a stock, how far they can go. You think it can go this far, and then you find out it can go a lot further.
Kenny's making a good point, but we knew this a couple days ago. The dividend payout is March 9th, right, for the deadline. So, I mean, if you wanted that, it would have been a good investment on Thursday or Friday. They've already put more than a buck on this. I'll just give you the pre-market high, and that's really only thing we have right now to base our analysis on. That comes in at 28.59. You hit that a couple brackets. So see what it does up there. Not much on the dailies, not much. The monthly, it had that crazy run to just over 34, just after a little bit after the IPO. With the bump, I believe Kramer was involved in a pump on that. So first things first, take out the pre-market high, 28.59, then look at your whole numbers, 29 and 30. Right now, hard to call top.
So let's jump to the earnings parade here. Lots of earnings from this morning and last night. Let's start with Target. I got down and dirty this one. Somebody got really excited last night, and they wanted to own it. They had to own it before the report. This thing, I watched it go 187, 188, 189. I'm like, this starts going over 190, which would actually put it to, I believe, Target over 190. No, sorry. I was looking at the wrong chart there. But it had, it was up there a few days ago. But I was like, it's giving you a pretty good lead. So, yes, the evil Dennis shorted the stock last night, Target. 190, 20, 190, 10, multiple trades on it. Took it through the report, shorted it to take it through the report. My logic here was one, I thought they're gonna have to blow it away because we saw Walmart have a pretty good report, and then it didn't get the pop off.
That's what Joel said.
Yeah, were you listening to the Apple show?
Oh no, you read my mind, Joel. So we were thinking the same way. I guess we've traded with each other for so long, we think the same way. Second thing is, I hedged it with Walmart, and I did it. Nice. I did it huge. I did it 3-1. Because I figured that the Walmart move would be a lot less because it's already reported. But I was like, you know what? Target rips up $5-6. They'll buy Walmart up a bit. So I hedged it 3-1 with Walmart. End of the report, and it worked like a charm. Target it comes in. Walmart was actually trading up, so I was able to take it off here this morning. Walmart is still trading up about 40-50 cents, and Target's obviously significantly down from that 190. So yes, you can make money shorting stocks even in a bull market.
Yeah, it was nice that you put the head. Spencer, you want to give that report?
Yeah, here are the numbers on Target. Q4 adjusted EPS, $2.67 versus a $2.54 estimate, so they beat that. Sales beat by a smidge, 28 versus $27.5 billion. Q4 comps up 20% year over year. Digital comp sales up 118% year over year. They are not providing guidance. Sales guidance for this year or EPS guidance for the year due to the pandemic. They also said they did not buy back any stock last quarter, but they have resumed buybacks this quarter.
The funny thing is that's the first time I've actually seen the numbers since you just read them. I've traded into the report, held it through the report, got out of the report. I never actually looked at the numbers. That's how much I cared about the numbers. So stock reaction tells you it all. It's trading up here a little bit, but we've seen, some stocks get sold on good earnings. And is this as good as it gets for Target? I think it is. And if I was long the stock, I would actually sell it. I shorted it, but I'm flat now, so I can freely talk about it. I don't know if I'm going to go short it again now, but if I was long it, I think I'd ring the register here. It's been a great year for Target. And I just see what Walmart has done. I see what Home Depot has done. A lot of stocks have been absolutely hammered. The retail stocks, like Walmart, that's a pretty good hammering from 150 down to 130, on a consumer staple, big company. Again, these stocks, it's not sexy really either. So if we start coming out of COVID, is Target, the place? They were already going to Target. They're going to start going to other places, so you see that reopening. Target is not a reopening story. It's more of a lockdown story, Target and Walmart. So that's why I think this is as good as it gets, and I think I'd ring the register if I was in it.
Isn't that interesting? They're not providing guidance.
Well, how do you? It's so hard. And you're going to see companies do this more and more, but it's tough. Like, Joel, we don't know where, yes, the vaccine's working. but they're trying to analyze, okay, well, how much did we benefit from the lockdown? Did we benefit from the lockdown? Obviously, don't have people coming in and buying, we have them buying, our essential products here, but we don't have them coming in and buying a lot of other stuff. So maybe we don't. Maybe we are a reopening play. I mean, Target is a little bit of a mix, but I tend to think that they were more at least being priced as a lockdown trade.
And also, think about the comps. Think about the year-over-year comps from last year to this year. It's impossible. It's impossible
to beat those numbers again.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it.
You set the bar really, really high, and you know what? Shareholders have been rewarded. The stock from the March lows is up basically 100%.
Yep.
It's Target. It's not some high-tech growth company. This is a big box retailer that's been around for decades. I just think this is the time where, wow, it's been a good run. Maybe lock it in. We could be wrong. I mean, there's lots. I was getting a little bit bearish in the market, and that's obviously wrong. So we're just trying, to give you our thoughts and, opinions. And sometimes we're going to be right, sometimes we're going to be wrong. But in this case, we've had a little bit of precedence because Walmart got hammered after their good earnings, and they were up originally too. So I don't know if it's going to follow suit exactly, but because it's not blasting off on a pretty decent report, makes me concerned.
Agreement. Yeah,
makes me concerned.
You picked a good area with that 190 there because you had a spike over 190 on Thursday. You also sniffed it a little over a week ago, last Monday. So you picked a good technical level. Let's see what happens in 189 today. I know it's traded through it a lot. I'm looking at the move, the pullback off the high from just over 200 down to 177. So if Target wants to continue on its merry way higher, make another shot at 200, I'd look for this thing to hold 189 over the next couple days and then, gain some momentum. If not, I think you might have a date here with the 177 level. Looks kind of tired. It had to break. It had to rebound. Definite lower high here. And now you're tailing off again. I mean, I don't want to get all patterny on you, but you could have a head and shoulders top on top of a head and shoulders top. That's a double head and shoulders there.
Whoa.
So working on the right shoulder. Yeah, a lot of dandruff there. Triple D, before we move on, some people were kind of curious about yesterday when you had the bold. I don't know if you want to talk about it. If you don't want to talk about it.
I was short ExxonMobil.
That was.
You kind of knew it. I was like, what's the news on ExxonMobil? And then I was like, we're not getting it. And then I'm looking at CNBC and their executives on CNBC. So I need to go and find out the news. First thing you do when you're getting hammered, make sure you know the reason why. And secondly, then you got to go and try to work out of the trades. So, what do you do when you start losing money? You cover. You try to figure it out and you cover. It's not like I'm not in the business of, I hope it comes back down. I'm going to be short ExxonMobil from 50. I don't know where it closed yesterday, but I was down way over $1. I think it was down almost $2 in it. So, anyways, I was short ExxonMobil. I had a hedge on. I was long Chevron versus ExxonMobil. It was a pairs trade. And obviously, Exxon had the news with the execs. So, it was ripping higher. So, you got to work out of it. You work out of your losers. I'm disciplined, man. I take those losses.
So, you immediately worked out of the spread, right? You just put the fire out?
Yeah, as best I can. Like, sometimes you got to look. Like, you got to analyze. Okay, well, you just ripped up $1. You come in a little bit, maybe. You're still working the trade. And, I'm not like I got 100 shares or something, too. It's not that simple for me. So, you're trading 100 shares. I'm out. I mean, sometimes I've got a few more shares than that. So you got to work it as best you can. And sometimes, I'm going to be big enough that I actually might impact the price. So I got to be careful with the way I work
Especially in the pre-market.
That's why I talked about like the discretionary order a couple days ago. Get outside the market, start to, and then throw some discretion on it. So you're not in there and like bidding it up, and then the high frequency guys see you bidding it up, and then they're penny jumping you and they're getting ahead of you. I take liquidity. It's a type of market where when you bid the stock, then they get ahead of you. We got a hot one. They bid ahead of you, and they try to get you to pay as much as you possibly can. So you can't just panic, and you just want to panic and lift an offer too. Sometimes you can. I mean, if the offer is there and I'm on the wrong side of the news, I'll lift the offer, get the hell out. But, in that case, the news was already out. It was already starting to come in. We were doing the show live, so, it's difficult. And sometimes, it's not like I got 1 or 2 overnight positions here either. I'm fairly light overnight. I got 30. So you don't notice sometimes, when something happens. You just see your P&L. I'm watching the P&L. You're like, oh, what's happening? I'm getting slammed in this. So you got to go find out what the news is. I mean, when you're trading 40, 50, 100 stocks, every day you get hit with news. So it's just a matter of working out of those losers as best you can. So
and CVX
you have winners and losers. Discipline, get out when you're wrong.
And the CVX moved, but not as much
because the news wasn't on it.
Yeah,
I think I ended up covering Exxon up like 4% and Chevron sold for up like 2%. So I would have lost like 2% on it. So, which isn't terrible. You say, well, what's 2%? Well, I'm jumping in edges for 0.1%, 0.2%. 2%'s a butt kicking for me on an overnighter. So, you got to work it. You work out as best you can.
Yeah, because all the years, I mean, you have dropped the mic a few times though. But usually it's like you come on at like 7:58. You're like, I'm buried. I can't come on. But there was one. It was just interesting, and people were like, they wanted to know how you worked out of it. So I thought it was a good exercise in risk management. That's what we talk about here.
That's all this game is about. It's all that matters. If you're a retail trader, long-term investor, and you're doing 1 or 2 trades in a week, but if you want to do this for a living, which I do, all of my wealth, all of my net worth has basically been created from my trading. Almost 100% of it. A little bit of investing afterwards, but it's how I got started. It's how I, bought my first house. It's how I've done everything. The reason I have been in this game for 21 years is not that I'm good at picking stocks and I'm just good at this and I make money on every single trade. That is not why I've been in this game. The reason is that I'm very disciplined. And when the trades are working against me, I'm very good at getting out. I am not, I'm what you would call a risk manager. I am adverse to risk. People think in my job that, here's this guy, here's this trader, this gambler. He gambles for winning. My one friend used to say, Denny, did you win money today? Because they don't know much, about the trading. Did you win money? Well, I'm not about, it's not about winning money. It's about putting bets, small-sized bets, diversified bets when you have a quantitative edge. Bob Bright, you interviewed him, great interview. We can tweet that out, again when it gets up there. But, you interviewed him the other day, but he's talking about a quantifiable edge, and Bob's been talking about, shorting those levered products, and that's where he's been making a lot of money over the last decade. So, you got to look at different edges. Last night, Target bid up $4 ahead of the report.
Ahead of the report.
Yeah, ahead of the report. They're giving me a 4-point lead. So that's an edge. They're already giving me a 4-point lead. Somebody's bidding this up thinking they're going to beat.
Why?
Well, they might know they're going to beat, but you know what? I also know that Walmart beat, and they beat handily, and they hit the stock. So there might be the potential that this might not actually go up 4 points. I see the scenario that Target misses, the stock's going down. Target comes in line, I think the stock's going down. Target beats by a bit, I think the stock could go up a bit. Target blows it away, maybe it goes higher. So I see like 4 scenarios there. This person's paying up 4, they're all going after this scenario. I have these other 3 scenarios. There's a quantifiable edge. And then when I hedge it with Walmart, I'm even taking some more of the risk off the table. So you can see, where I'm placing that short bet last night on Target, and obviously it worked out here this morning. So, I mean, that's all I'm doing is little quantifiable edges.
Quick programming note. Rob Friesen of Bright Trading, who Dennis just referenced to, is going to be our 3:40 p.m. guest today. That's 3:40 on At the Close show. He's going to talk about just the same thing Dennis talked about, getting edges, how he does his homework at night. He's going to talk about an upcoming event that he's going to do tomorrow. So all you early birds here, make sure you tune in at 3:40 today or catch that.
I've learned so much from Bob Bright and from Rob Friesen. I mean, Rob was the father of pairs trading, so he's going to be on. Like, he was the person that brought us this Bright Trading. Rob came in 1998. I came in 1999. But Rob came in with his quantifiable pairs trading, looking at quantifiable edges. And, we still employ all those tactics today. Are we just buying Coke and short and Pepsi? I mean, that's the most simplistic example. No. We're doing different things. But look at the pairs trade that I did on the Target Walmart. I'm doing that whole spin. I know there's a relationship between Target and Walmart. I know that relationship isn't. I know Walmart, because it already reported, isn't going to move as much. So I'm not just going to do it 1-to-1. Your, novice pairs trader might be saying, I'll short 100 grand worth of Target, I'll buy 100 grand worth of Walmart, and I'll be okay. Well, no, because Walmart's already reported, so the activity is going to be muted. So in all likelihood, Target, Walmart's probably going to move, at about a third of, I'm just estimating, but I'm thinking about a third of what Target's going to move. So that's why I do it 3-to-1. And, you take it off this morning and it ended up working out. So, but that's a pairs trading edge. These are different edges. So, people, just looking at a chart, and, this nice head and shoulders pattern, that's pretty and all. But do you honestly think when you look at a chart, there is 6 million other traders looking at the same chart? Do you really think you're looking at that chart differently than the other 6 million people out there? You think you're better than that? I don't know. I'll tell you at Bright Trading, 490 traders at our peak. There wasn't a hell of a lot of traders that were technical traders that were making money. They were using the book. They were using order flow. They were using other different edges. I like to look at charts too. I think there is something there for the swing trader. I think there is something there for the long-term investor. For the short-term day trader, 90% of the trades that I make in my short-term day trading account, I do not look at a chart. I have 3 screens here. I used to have 6, but I used to have more charts. But I have one little chart in the very corner. So about 10% of my screens. And the only chart I have on there is the 90-day. Because the 90-day will tell me what the stock has been doing. Is it trending up? Is it trending down? Is it flat? I want to know, is this stock strong, or relatively weak? That's all I need to know.
And it just turned out the way that it were in the Target that it did get. It just was a coincidence. That 190 was a nice level based on the daily highs. So,
and I looked at that too.
Yeah,
so that's another thing,
right?
Yeah, but that wasn't my catalyst. My reason for going in the trade was somebody's bidding this thing up $4 ahead of the report. I don't think it's going to blow it away. Even if it does blow it away, I'm not even sure it goes up $4. So a lot of edge.
Why was someone doing that? I mean,
they do it all the time, Joel. People just don't know. That's dumb money is what that is. And that's what, that's what it is. I mean, people are speculating. And then, somebody starts, it might not even be dumb money. It could be smart money. It could be somebody that's like bidding it up after hours. They're trying to get this stock to look strong here. Maybe they've got a whole pile. Maybe there's some fund that's along 1 million shares. And they're like, I'm going to bid this up a few hundred shares to try to make it look stronger ahead of the report. Get other people thinking, oh, it's going to beat, and then it beats, and then it's going to go higher. There's all that stuff that you don't know what happens behind the scenes. But when you're long 1 million shares, and I'm not an institutional trader, but I can tell you, we know institutional traders and we've known different people. I mean, we know this stuff goes on, that they will try to push stocks their direction, especially after a report. Sometimes nobody wants to give a direction. You've got 1 million shares, stock reports, there's no bids or offers. Bid a few hundred shares, and then it starts to go your direction. I'm not saying we do that. I'm never that big, but I'm saying this stuff happens. And you have to be aware that a lot of times a reason for a stock going down might just be a big fish pushing it down.
That's a great example. No, and you see that sometimes, especially like that crazy 4 a.m. open where they push Johnson. And I just want to review this one real quick. Yeah. They pushed this thing to 165 overnight on news that was already out last week, right?
Yeah.
That it was about and then also I looked at it. It was up. Almost 7 points at this when it got to 165.
Crazy.
Do you know what the range for the entire month of February was?
What?
7.
And you're buying it up $6, and somebody's buying it up $6 at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what? If I woke up at 4 in the morning, I would have sold John. I mean, I've got the kids now. I'm too tired. I used to do the 4 a.m. thing all the time. If I was waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning, I saw Johnson & Johnson bid 165 on that headline, I would short the stock. Yes, so evil, short the stock. And you know what? I would have been paid for it too.
That would have been heatless. You could have went down one back to bed. And
there's a lot of opportunities. And 4 in the morning, there's no liquidity. And again, if you're coming in at 4 in the morning, you're new to trading, and you're bidding something up $5, $6, $7, thinking because somebody else has bid it up. I mean, that's a good, way to get hurt. It's very difficult. There's no liquidity. A lot of funny things happen. I'm going and looking for inefficiencies if I was out there 4 in the morning. Again, I don't do it anymore because I'm too tired. But if I was waking up the odd day, if there was really some movement, I might do it. But you're looking for inefficiencies. That's an inefficiency. Somebody giving too much pop when we've looked at Pfizer and we've looked at the big companies, and we know we get these pops on the drug news, they've typically given it back. Once you have precedence, once you've seen the move before and a stock that's similar, it allows you to have more confidence going in with that call.
And also, J&J lost $4 on Friday. So you're like, oh, people are
getting it all back. Bag holders.
Yeah. I mean, that was a wicked. I don't know what the imbalances were on that one on Friday, but what a treat that was. And then when we talked about it on the show, we're like, what about previous day's high? Didn't even get there. In fact, it ended up opening right near its high for the session. Didn't get down to the close. We were talking about that. But here's another thing. When we were looking at it, let's say 161.45. You threw a short out there. You took 8 cents worth of heat. It went to 161.53. Missed yesterday's high by a buck and ended up settling still in the green at 159.32. But just wanted to do a little trade review on that one. Spencer,
we try to talk this stuff like we're trying to do a lot of education because there's so many other shows out here right now that are just doing charts and stock picks. We're not charts and stock picks, and like, this is what's out there. Like literally, you watch a lot of other podcasts. It's charts and stock picks. Oh, I like this chart. I like this chart. We're trying to show you a different angle. You know, I could sit here and do charts and stock picks too, and we do a little bit of that. And it's fun, But you know, Joel's talking, different stuff here too. You know, like talking about, when we look at the Johnson Johnsons, Joel's not looking, really at the pattern or, is it breaking down? He's looking, hey, the thing got hammered on Friday. Now it's a snapback. There's going to be some people that are willing to sell. There's the value from a chart to tell you that the thing got hammered for $5-6 and it's bouncing back in. And, obviously you got the news. So, it helps you with that too. So we're just trying to educate you guys.
You know what I think? I think our biggest edge here and why we're such the dominant pre-market podcast
I don't know if we are. I don't know if that's patting ourselves on the back a little bit too much, I think so, Joel. But why we have a good following? Why?
Psychological. We talk about the psychological aspects of the market.
I think I've turned everybody off. Is there only 600 people watching this right now? What's up?
No, I got 1,600.
No, there's 1,600.
Oh, yeah. I'm on a bad feed here now. I was going to say, I must have turned everybody off with this educational stuff.
Actually, that's not even true. There's more than that because there's 2 different streams going on right now. So
I'm watching the other stream.
There's 2,000 watching right now.
Okay, I have to add them up. I'm watching the small stream. I was like, maybe everybody left here. 600 people.
No, it's 2,000.
Yeah, so I didn't turn them on. No, but just like the psychological aspect of trading, and that's
what Rob does too.
Yeah,
you're gonna have Rob on. He's gonna talk that. Rob can talk the psychology, and you do too, Joel. You do it well too. Talking. Okay, well, what is people thinking? You see this chart, and then you go. And Jeremy Newsom does it well too. And analyzing what are people thinking. He's looking at the chart. For where people are caught. People are looking at breakouts or looking at different things, and Jeremy's doing a little different spin. So maybe I should take back what I said. You can look at charts in a different way, and there is different information to extract from it. I would just say it's only one tool in your toolbox, though.
Agree. All right, enough patting ourselves on the back here. Let's.
Joel likes to pat ourselves.
But yeah,
we all like all of the odds. Jeremy told us to do that. Jeremy Newsom said, every once in a while, give yourself a pat on the back. Nobody else can do it for you. Give yourself a pat on the back. We love Jeremy. So Spencer, I've taken the show completely away
that's
from
totally
you.
fine. That's okay.
And you got the Oscar behind you. When did the Oscar show up? Did we win an Oscar?
What? That's been there for like a week, man.
Man, I noticed nothing.
It's been there for a week.
I noticed nothing. Have we talked about it?
It's Oscar season.
Did we talk about it?
Actually, it's an Oscar that we won. PreMarket Prep won an Oscar.
PreMarket Prep won an Oscar.
Excellent. I figured, hey, if Netflix and Amazon, if they can win Oscars, I'm like,
we got that. The category was best pre-market show.
That's exactly it.
We won it. We gave it to ourselves.
We gave it to ourselves. That's it right there.
All right.
Young Spencer, we're patting ourselves on the back. How much has Spencer improved over the years?
I think that Oscar was for best host.
Yeah, best producer.
Spencer, best producer. Best producer. Best host.
We tied for the best host.
Enough.
Who was the best?
Okay, this is getting gagging, Joel. We are really turning people up now. I just watched a person leave.
Enough.
Best guess? Bill Santiago.
Oh my God. Okay.
Bill's good.
Speaking of guests,
I'm still laughing.
We have Mish Schneider on, and she'll be on in about 5 minutes or so. She's the director of trading education and research at MarketGauge. Between now and then, though, I guess we'll do some tickers from the chat because there's a few tickers that all right. And
did Kohl's have earnings?
Yes, they did have earnings. Okay. You want to go over those Kohl's numbers? I didn't see the numbers yet this morning.
People are just sick of hearing about retail.
They were good. They were good.
I'm sick of hearing.
Let's go to TIGR, TIGR.
Let's go to Kohl's because you know what?
Fine, let's go to Kohl's. We're going to Kohl's.
Give us the numbers.
Why
Give us the numbers.
You anyway, Spencer?
I don't know. Kohl's beat by a mile. They beat by a mile.
Yeah.
EPS, they basically doubled the estimate, $2 versus $1. Sales 6.14 versus $5.86 billion. And they gave guidance in the fiscal year EPS guidance in the mid to high $2 range.
So they absolutely kill it, which is so impressive. I mean, in an environment where nobody's even going into their stores or less people are going to the stores. So online must just be killing it here. Very impressive numbers. Not good that it's not trading higher. This is a stock that has run from $20 in November to $57 here today. This is a very important day for this. If this thing starts to go red, Katie bar the door could get ugly. So as long as it holds green, as long as it holds up, let's see what it does at 9:30. But man, it's been a hell of a run. It was an awesome quarter. Is this, the buy ahead and sell it on the news? It's a setup for that. That's still to be determined. Let's see what happens here at 57 and 56.90, 56.80. But this has the potential to get ugly if it starts going red. So you need, if you're along this, you need it to hold green. I'm scared of Kohl's right here.
Yeah, it's leaking. It's leaking as we speaking.
Let me rhyme. I know that's a good one. It's leaking as we speak. And put that on a shirt, Mitch. Joel, Mitch, we need that shirt. We need the meatloaf. We want it now.
Turning that into a sound clip and a shirt.
It's leaking as we're speaking.
Come on, guys.
I'm a little spooked on it. I'll just say that. It's been a great run.
Come on, I don't want to laugh at my own jokes. That's not good.
I laughed.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know that was a good one though.
That's pretty lame.
I'm on a roll tonight.
Joel's really patting himself on the back.
My arm's gonna be sore.
Holy cow, is your arm ever sore? Shoulder injury right there.
I think 59. I mean, I don't. Right now, looking at this chart, I don't think you're going back up to 59. If you do,
it got to 59 this morning.
Yeah, good.
That's
58. I'd say I'd take a good hard look at yesterday's high as a potential area. 57.97. That was a high, so probably paper stacking up at 58. So I look at that as resistance. I wouldn't get real. Wow, Friday's low. That was kind of artificial low because of that crazy day on Friday. I would just look for, where do we close at? I'd use that closes right at 57 too. Oh no, it's up $1.75. So you got some room down to the close. If you're shorting this, see what happens at the close. Strong day yesterday. I don't think you're going to see that 2-day low, but hanging up here right now. That's for sure.
It's holding on. We'll see what happens.
Holding on. All right. Is Mish in the house, or are we going to do a ticker?
One more ticker.
She is here. Let's bring her on. Let's bring her on. She's here, Mish Schneider. Before we bring her on, a reminder, hit that like button, everybody. We appreciate the likes, all the chats, all the comments. Hit subscribe, hit share. Share it on Twitter, share it on MySpace, on GeoCities, whatever websites the kids are on these days. I don't know. All right, let's bring on Mish Schneider. She's the Director of Trading Education and Research for MarketGauge. Mish, good morning. How are we doing?
Good morning. Well, coffee in hand, doing great. How you guys doing?
That's good. We also, Dennis doesn't drink coffee, but I've got my coffee here as well.
Thank God.
Thank God for that. Mish, how are you doing in these markets? Been an interesting few weeks.
We've done really, really well because after the initial flood of buying in the early part of the year, we've really kind of taken it easy and picked just the few sectors that we think are hot after a correction. Like, for example, we got long Canaan Inc., which is part of blockchain technology, a China company.
CAN. Yeah, we're familiar.
We got long on Friday at 1560, so it's trading at 2260. I mean, it was a 50% rise in a day. So, and that was all I bought for really since like a week. So we've just been really, really careful. And I think that's the key here is if you're going to buy on a correction, make sure it's in a sector that you think is hot and for a good reason. Obviously, anything to do with Bitcoin, blockchain right now is still hot. If you're going to be looking at things like electric cars and battery and energy distribution, that could be hot. But then again, right now it's been a little bit out of favor as oil has perked up a little bit. One thing that's really interesting is, we have all these quant models that we've developed here at MarketGauge. And one of the models, it's the ETF sector model, is getting out of clean energy and into regular energy today. And I thought, wow, that's the algorithm is telling you something. So, really, I think the bottom line right now is kind of take it easy because we have a lot of issues floating around the market that need to be resolved before we can figure out whether we're going lower or going higher from here.
We're on the line with Mish Schneider at MarketGauge. Mish, don't want to go into the whole modern family with you, but you've been talking about the small caps for a long time, and they finally had their day, and a little bit of a comeback by the big caps here over the last day or two. Big caps outperformed for years and years and years, and now the little guy's fighting back. Is this just an aberration here, or is it the start of a 2, 5, 10-year trend?
Well, it's definitely not an aberration because it's been going on for months now.
Yep.
And as you know, you mentioned the small caps, so the Russell 2000 in my economic family is granddad. And there's a reason why he's granddad, because he really is the granddad of the U.S. economy. Because 2,000 small cap stocks are all in the United States. These aren't the companies that have major presences in foreign countries. They may have some, but essentially the manufacturing happens in the U.S. And that's why I've always been watching that as the best indicator of whether or not the economy is going to look to improve. And that's what Granddad is saying right now. We're seeing some of the numbers follow suit with industrial production, manufacturing numbers doing better. And the big tech, which was leading for years, certainly helped the market, but it didn't really reflect well on the economy as much as I would have liked to see. And so I'm thrilled. Whether or not it continues, I think we need to see us get over this hump right now. Market desperately is looking for something either from the Federal Reserve in the way of maybe possibly QE, which they haven't talked about in a long time because of these yields going up, or certainly by the government with the stimulus and the 1.9 stimulus package, and then potentially infrastructure behind that. And I know there are a lot of people who think that's, oh, wow, that's going to be inflationary and blow the markets up and inflation's going to go out of control. But at the same time, you can see how fragile we are here, because last week the floorboards got a little creaky once those yields started going up and the conversation about the stimulus started to stall.
So, Mish, who or what are you watching right now as your market leader, as your signal?
Well, I'm definitely watching transportation very carefully, which sort of goes hand in hand with Granddad, because where he may be the supply side, and I refer to them as people because they've been my family for so many years, but where Grandpa may be the supply side of the economy, transportation is really the demand side of the economy, right? We know we can measure how robust goods and services are moving through the transportation sector. Charles Dow said that many years ago. And so I think you really have to watch that. You have to see the consumer demand remain robust. Confidence has been better. Retail sales have gone up. You've mentioned now all of a sudden Kohl's reporting this is a big week for retail. That's going to be an indication. But I've got my eyes there. And then, of course, like everyone else, I've got my eyes on the yields right here because the TLTs took quite the dive. Looked like they were going to reverse last week, and now they're down again. They haven't taken out last week's low. So the Fed needs to, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but if the Fed doesn't come in and do some supporting of the bond buying program here, I think that we'll start to see with yields going up, may help the banks, but for the consumer, it's going to get a little bit more expensive, and that could hurt. We'll see.
Have you ever seen a disconnect between the market and the Fed? Is what we're seeing right now. I mean, the bonds are just getting killed. The market's telling Mr. Pump and Powell that rates need to go up, and he just every time he comes on the horn, he's just like, no, we're not going to do that. Have you ever seen that kind of disconnect between the Fed and the street?
Not really. I think this is classic. And that's why I've taken a big, giant step back before we start loading up on stocks here. I've been very long a lot of the commodities. I think we talked about that last time. Still long corn, wheat, DBA, sugar, coffee. We've taken profits along the way, but we still have a core position in all of those. And I think even if the rates go up, but one of the things that it's reflecting is this fear of inflation, and the inflation not looking like the classic inflation the Fed looks at. There's another disconnect. The Fed looks at it through really the labor market and the personal consumption expenditure. And right now with oil being still relatively cheap, that they're saying no inflation. But if you look at the food prices and the prices of industrial metals like copper and steel and lumber and housing prices, I mean, it's insane here what's going on with housing prices. This is a double-edged sword with these interest rates, because if the interest rates start to creep up, it'll affect the market. It'll also affect the housing market. And that in turn could really, I think, send a very negative message to the overall market that things got too heated too fast and we're really much more fragile, which is what the Fed is saying. But they don't have much control right now of what's happening in these short-term yields. They can't do anything. They can't lower the Fed's fund rate. The only thing they can do
Well, they can. They can go below zero.
They can, but they probably, yes, good point. But they may not. But what they might do, and it would be amazing, but they might, and the only thing really they have left besides going below zero, as you say, is QE. So it's going to be interesting right here. I would tell people to be optimistic and watch the oil market too. Obviously, that's a factor. But at the same time, don't go crazy right here until we know that we can get through this hump.
Beans in the teens. I haven't said that in a long time there. Look at that.
Oh,
9-month winning streak for soybeans. Is it going to be 10? Looks like it could be a little bit tired here. Potential double top on the monthly chart, at least in the soybeans. But boy, I haven't looked at those commodity in a long time. Just talking about some other any other sectors, some that haven't maybe left the station yet on the rally, or maybe if they haven't left, they're not going to leave. Any of the laggers, anything that you've been disappointed in?
Well, before I answer that, I just want to say something about the beans, because right now Argentina and Brazil are in a very, very fragile situation themselves in terms of the weather. As we know, the crops have been hit anyway because of just the supply chain disruption and lower production, et cetera. But now they're heading into their drought season. And I was listening to somebody in Argentina say that if Argentina and Brazil do not get some very desperately needed rain, that could really, really cut the soybean and corn production. And of course, we know China demand is huge. And so this double top could also turn out to be
a blow. Yeah, weather is huge. We don't talk commodities enough, and the weather factor, you got to keep your eye on that. Excellent point there.
Well, one thing we can't control. What can't we control? We can control the rates. We can control the dollar, and at least we can try to manipulate things. When I say we, I mean the powers that be. But we cannot control Mother Nature, as we have learned over and over and over again. And so that's why I love commodity trading, because ultimately, when things get out of control, beyond our control, that's when you see those things fly and you can make a lot of money. And I like to say, I don't like to make money on the backs of something bad. But what we've been doing is giving a lot of money back to food depots, because people are still starving. So if you're going to make money in food commodities, give it back by helping people who need to eat. Anyway,
thank you for saying that. No, that Mish, our chat has got a great memory. You were on 2 months ago and you mentioned seed, and our chat remembers that.
Our chat knows everything.
Do you have any updated thoughts there on SEED?
Well, it was going to be one of the things that I was going to say that I'm still so bullish on. I'm so bullish on ag tech. I think that that's really the future, regardless of what happens right here with the crops and the supply chain and the demand and anything else that might happen in terms of hoarding. Ag tech is here to stay. Seed is a Chinese company called Origin. We have been in it. We're actually looking to add to it. It's been sort of fluctuating here between 21, 25. And I think it's coming in, it's like 23.50 bid pre-market, gets through 25.50, 26. I think we're going to add to it because we've already taken some off. I'm very bullish in seed. I'm also very bullish in App Harvest, APPH, because that's actually in the United States. It's farming that's being done from an alternative way through greenhouses to produce organic, healthy, and cheaper produce. Right now they're just doing tomatoes, but they're looking to branch out. Huge backing behind them, including what's her name, the woman who's in jail. All of a sudden I'm having blanking on her. Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart.
She's not still in jail.
Well, that was.
No, she's like the only person.
Not free Martha.
Free Martha.
I actually have a friend who went to the trial.
Another T-shirt, Mitch.
Wait. Listen to Mish, keep going. Sorry, say that again.
But no, I have a friend who actually went to the trial during that whole Martha Stewart thing in New York years ago.
Oh, man.
But anyway, I mean, so app harvest is a big thing. I keep getting these sense that Bill Gates, who we found out recently is the largest owner of farmland in the United States. I mean, I thought, wow. He can get involved with some of that existing ag tech. So yeah, I'm big into the ag tech. What else am I really looking at here? Well, I'm still really into 3D printing. 3D had their report come out, so it's coming in a little bit lower. I'd be looking to buy that if it gets anywhere close to about $30-$31 a share.
Mish, why did 3D have such a move? I mean, and obviously we can look here. This has been a stock that was $80 back in 2014. It's been dead money for 5 years, and all of a sudden, at the beginning of 2021, it goes from 10 to 60 in about a month. Was this a Reddit thing? Like, what do we know why 3D printing all of a sudden just decided everybody thought this is the future when they didn't think it was the future for the last 5 years?
Well, there was a few reasons. Number one is from a fundamental standpoint, there were definitely improvement in terms of the revenues that they've said that they were going to report. There was some guidance that showed that they were going to do very well. Well, the earnings were a little bit disappointing, but that was a factor. Huge short float there, as you said. There was some Reddit buying. Kathy Woods came in and bought DDD. And I think after it floundered like around $5, $6, $7, it was just ripe for a move going up, as 3D printing is also another one of those future megatrends that I think could explode over the course of the next several years. And it's great technology. So anything that's sort of technology that's either been ignored or new technology has been definitely on the radar of Kathy Wood and ARC. And if it's got a huge short float, as we know, on the radar of the Reddit group. So all of that. And we've been bullish too. So we've taken several profits. We're holding a little teeny bit of a tail here. And again, we either get stopped out under 30 and we bought it like 8, or we add at that level. So I really like that area too, so 3D printing. I'm also really interested in data collection.
Okay.
Because that's another huge thing that's going on all over the world. You think something and then you open up your Facebook page and there's an ad for it. You didn't even tell anybody that you...
Yeah, how does that work?
Right? Well, that's all done. That's all algorithms that are all done through data collection. And because what's happening in China right now is it's going from a service economy into a more consumer economy. What they're doing is they're really tracking the preferences, particularly of women, but not just women. And this tracking of the preferences that we all have, whether we buy something or we mention something or we Google search something, gets tracked. And that's data collection that is huge. That is the real future of retail as well.
So do you have a stock?
Are you talking talking Trade Desk or PubMatic or
my personal favorite is Datadog, maybe just because I like to say it. but DDOG, because it really did take off. We did great on that. We bought it at like 95 and went all the way up to like 115. We're gone from that and we're watching it. It's sort of basing here between 95 and 100. It's high on my list to be watching right now. Again, I'm being cautious all around, but this is sort of my list. And then I'll give you one more that I'm really interested in. It's another company. It's a blank check company that it's SVAC, Starlight.
That's the Starboard Value one,
the
right?
Starboard one that they just bought.
Yes. Thank you for my memory of detail sometimes in the morning is a little fuzzy, but
I've got a small piece in this still left.
As do I.
Did you hold on? You held on.
Really?
Spencer is still on.
Oh, tell me
we were on this pre-SPAC, and then wow, I buy a lot of the SPACs pre-deal and then sell into the pop. I did sell a lot of this into the pop, but I held a piece because you know why? The company they were buying, same thing. I was like, I kind of like that idea, so I didn't mind the target.
Cyxtera, CYX.
Yeah.
And what are they doing? I mean, they're going into the global retail space to connect all this data. So it's not quite data collection in the same way we just talked about with Datadog, but it is definitely in terms of connecting all of the different global retail people to be able to talk to one another through this software is why it's got huge amount of money behind it with this blank check company. We haven't gotten in yet. It's funny. We're looking to get in. I've been watching it so carefully because it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
But as soon as it shows any signs of life, we're in. So I'm trying to go more on the social disruptor technology and not necessarily the classic stuff that we've always been into. I mean, we've got some Wells Fargo, we've got some classic stuff. We were in China, we got out. Yeah, I mean, I think that we're looking at food commodities, new technology, blockchain technology, and ag tech. That's my. And
I got one more I want one more sector, and you've mentioned ag tech. What about the marijuana sector?
Excuse me. Oh my God! I almost choked on my coffee.
Joel, what did you do?
No, yes, thank you for reminding me about that, Joel. Yeah, we are totally bullish in the cannabis sector. And I think that the fact that it's sitting here is another great opportunity to keep your eyes on, because it hasn't gone anywhere. It had the big move up. And again, Tilray in particular, attention of the Reddit group. Now Tilray's been sitting. We have a small position. We're looking to add to Tilray. I think that you've got Virginia now passing legislation for recreational marijuana. I'm in New Mexico. It just passed the House in New Mexico. If it gets through the Senate, New Mexico is going to go legal. I think we have something like 33 states now, medical, and 15 or 16 states recreationally. You've got Tilray being looked at in Europe now, Portugal, France, England, for doing research on medical marijuana. Yeah, that's another one. Thank you. Yes, that would be my other place.
All right, Mish Schneider is the Director of Trading Education and Research for MarketGauge. You can find her on Twitter at MarketMinute. Mish, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, Mish.
All right. Always
nice to have that female voice, the cheery.
What, to balance us out is what you're saying?
Yeah,
it's great
my raspy voice, and Dennis.
She really knows her stuff too. I mean, she's just a great guest because she knows so much. Yeah, I mean, there's a guest that just knows so much about everything. So,
all right, let's do some ticker time from the chat. There's a few tickers that chat was talking about. I want to cover them. I tried to mention this earlier. TIGR, guys. This is one that Jason was long. I do not know if he still owns this thing, but he was betting. He was seeing what's happening over in China as far as trading activity and retail trading, and this is a way to play that. Pull the chart up here on my thing. Guys, thoughts on TIGR? This is a Chinese retail.
You at least got a line in the sand now, and that would be 2 days low, the 2260 low. So if you want to take a shot, you're leaning on the 2260. 2260 goes, you got to get out. Trading, again, is all about discipline and knowing when to get out when your trade is moving against you. How do you know when the trade is moving against you? It either takes out your original out plan or you start losing money. So, I mean, I look at this. It's a stock that's had a nice run, and then you got a healthy pullback here. So the chart is still healthy. I don't know anything about the individual fundamentals on this, so I can't comment to that at all. I would just say the 2260 level from 2 days ago needs to hold. That's the
needs to hold. You did have like a couple lower lows, and then that low hold. So I'd like to set up there. What the bulls need here is to get back over 30. If this is just a healthy pullback from 38 to 22, we're going to catch a bid here. We're going to go to 30. We're going to challenge 30. We're going to close over 30 and we'll take a run at 38. So classic, pullback here. Is it ready for a retracement? That's what you got to find out. Don't really like it under this 20. I mean, you got another couple lows to lean on, but look at the way they're spaced out there. So there's not 2075, and then you get into these three lows. So let's see if it's ready for a retracement and get back up. Where's those pair of highs at? Pair of highs, nothing real close. Next target, I mean, first things first. Let's get to yesterday's high, 2643.
There's 100 stock charts, maybe 500 stock charts that look the same, where you've had ridiculous runs.
Yep.
And now you've had pullbacks here. And think about the 50%. You can just bring up any of these smaller cap growth names like Jemiah, Fubo. They all look the same. So they're all going to move together and continue to move together too, to a certain extent, obviously different. But, overall, it's a small cap growth, and that's a small cap growth name, whether it's China, obviously individual, news is going to matter. But, I mean, overall, these things are all tracking together.
Someone mentioned Neo. They reported, right?
Yeah, let's talk it.
Oh, yeah, let's go over Neo. Oh, we didn't even do Zoom yet, guys.
All right, let's do Neo and Zoom.
All right, geez. Neo, I don't know if you care about the earnings because this company is so early on. I'll just give you the delivery number. They delivered 17.3 thousand cars last quarter versus 8,000 in the same quarter a year ago. They're guiding for Q1 deliveries and around 20 to a smidge over 20,000 cars delivered this quarter. Q1 sales guidance going to be in the $1.1 billion range. As far as the Q4 numbers, whatever. The earnings per share, they lost 14 cents. Sales $1 billion. I don't
know. You got some support in the mid 40s. That low of the move 41.66. That's a long ways out, though. I feel like you're coming in here. It's like a coin flip. This is a tough chart.
This is a tough chart. Easier to give you the resistance for now, and that's yesterday's low at 47.63. The close above that, but first things first, you got to get working get into yesterday's range. If that doesn't happen, I don't know. It just feels. I mean, at least over the last hour here, you have a step down seller, and he is being pretty patient. He's come down every bracket over the last 45 minutes, and you got the pre-market low. It's just the way it's hanging out, the way that it doesn't look. I just not real convicted that this one, you buy it here, you can lean on the pre-market low. That's not even giving you much room. So there you go. That's the big number. The big number is the one. Wow, got down to 41.66. Just a lot of air pockets in here. But 2-day low 44.62. That's $2 away. So we'll see if we get there.
What about Zoom, guys? They blew it away last quarter. Earnings per share of $1.22 versus 79-cent estimate. Sales of $882 versus $811 million. So they blew away the estimates for Q4. They also gave a lot of guidance. They gave Q1 EPS guidance that was well above the estimate. They gave EPS guidance in the high 90-cent range versus a 72-cent estimate. They gave EPS guidance for the year that was in the mid $3 range, above the $2 estimate or $2.90. And they gave sales guidance that was also above the estimate. So everything was above the estimate last night for Zoom.
Again, is this as good as it gets? That's the question. I mean, they need to come out with some other product.
It was better last October. Could have told you that.
Oh, so it's not even as good as it gets. So it's better. So I don't know. 450. That's your level. That's a line in the sand. That's where it's really struggled. Does it get through 450? I know it did in the pre-market. It needs to get back up through. That's your level. So if it can't get up through 450, that I think is a clear resistance point.
Also, I think on this one, I think that some people got caught this one. It looked on Friday, it looked like, we're going down, right? And that 360 area, people are playing. I'm going to bring in my short around 340 ahead of the report, and no can do. Real strong day yesterday, so people were left scratching their head on that. Really, you have some confluence here. You have your pre-market high at 458.19. My rough 50% retracement is coming in at 457, triple D. I'm like the 460 area. Also, you gapped up to that area. How many people are waiting for that gap fill at 460? So that's just short term. That just looks like a sell zone to me if it gets back up there. Might not even get back up there. A lot of people waiting to get the money back in Zoom.
Psychotropic Thunder talking about C's. SeaWorld's making new all-time highs.
Can you believe that?
This is this market. It's like so disconnected from all fundamentals. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to get out of this pandemic and we're all going to see Shamu and SeaWorld. That's, the fundamental thoughts behind it. But the real reason is, what's the short interest on this puppy?
It's probably, it's always
it's always been higher.
It's always kind of high.
I mean, you still got this squeeze going on where they're still attacking these. I don't want to be short anything that's got like 20% short interest or more, because it just seems like eventually Reddit finds it. I mean, I'm only showing 7, so I'm actually showing it quite light again.
That's what I see too.
Yeah, is that what you're showing too?
Yep.
It doesn't show super high, so maybe that theory's got a hole in it, but I don't get it at all. I mean, if you're trading on fundamentals right now, you got to be banging your head against the wall because nothing makes sense. You can't even think about fundamentals. You can't think, oh, here's an amusement park that is struggling, probably not open. I don't know how many SeaWorlds they have, if they have even more than one. But what else do they do besides the theme park? What else do they do? Do they have other businesses? Is there like SeaWorld channel? Is there SeaWorld app? Is there like a SeaWorld streaming, so we can watch Shamu swim around in his pool? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe they do something else, but man, what a gift. What a gift. So I don't know when this party ends for SeaWorld, and the market's stupid enough that these, fundamental, they're so disconnected from fundamentals, price can go anywhere. I mean, when GameStop can continue to be $117, the whole, you can't even worry about fundamentals.
I'll be damned. SeaWorld owns Sesame Place, which if you're not from the Northeast, you wouldn't know what that is, but it's a Sesame Street themed amusement park that I went to as a kid.
Oh, cool.
I'll be damned.
So they got a couple other parks.
That place,
I don't know.
Too. It was kind of dirty. I remember that. I remember coming out of that place and my feet were like, it was. I don't know
Sesame Street one or the SeaWorld one?
How can your feet be wet at SeaWorld, man? Because you're into what? No.
Hey, I liked SeaWorld as a kid. Would I buy the stock at $50? No. It could go to 100. It could do anything. Yes. I mean, the stock's making. I don't short stocks. Making new all-time highs. Is this a new all-time high for SeaWorld? Is it really? It's a 7-year high.
I just want to go to Blizzard Beach.
We know. Joe, we know.
Huge slide.
Yeah, we know.
And I'm going to make Lisa go down, even though she doesn't want to.
We don't even talk about like other assets on this show, but like, have you guys seen this like NBA Top Shot thing? Do you know what that's about?
Oh yes, I have. Have you heard about this, Dennis?
It's not just the stock market going crazy. There are other assets out there that are going absolutely like berserk. It's basically like a blockchain based thing. It's a non-fungible token, which means you can buy it and trade it on the blockchain. But it's highlights. It's highlights of basketball players that would otherwise be freely available, and you get a pack. Like a card, but it's a digital highlight, and you can resell it. And these things are going for like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, video clips. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Everything is all just it's a speculative bubble, and everybody's just saying, okay, there's going to be another buyer for something tomorrow. I should make a triple D coin, and come out. You should. Or we should make a pre-market prep coin. I mean, this is just the market that we're in. Let's be honest here. I'm long Bitcoin. Is this going to be, like Citigroup with their report? You think we're all transacting in Bitcoin? And great from FT, too. Did you see them debunk the Citigroup report there? That this is and I'm blowing Bitcoin. This is good for me. But they said in the report that 36% of small businesses in the U.S. are accepting Bitcoin.
There's no way.
That's what Citigroup said.
There's no way. There's no way.
You're telling me 1 out of 3 small businesses are accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment? Where did they get that data from? That's what Financial Times was saying. They threw it right out there, and they're like, this is like just ridiculous. This isn't true. This is Citigroup, a 108-page report.
They probably did some survey of 100, and they extrapolated from there. But
30. That's just stupidity. I mean, there's no way a third of businesses are accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. So I don't know what that was all about, but props to Financial Times for pointing that out because I was like, that is absurd. So I love the Bitcoin story. The reason I bought Bitcoin in Thanksgiving of 2020 wasn't because I thought we were all going to transact in Bitcoin. It was because I thought the story was going to get hot. That is what has happened. This market is nothing to do with fundamentals. It is all about a story. We had Andrew Left on our show said the same thing. He said, story is all that matters. Put that on a t-shirt because right now, that is all that matters. One day, fundamentals will matter again. But in this market, it is story, and that is it. SeaWorld's got a hot story. We're reopening. We're all going back to SeaWorld. Who cares if they're burning cash? This market is all about a story. Rocket story starts to get hot. There's probably rocket emojis on Reddit, trying to give it. I mean, that's what this market is. It's all about a hot story. Everybody, it's back to 1999. It was the same thing. Like, remember Excite at Home? Do you remember that one, Joel? At home?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It was cable internet. And it was going to change the world because we're all going to cable internet. And you know what? It did. We did all go to cable internet. That stock went from $5 to $200. The market cap was billions of dollars because they were the cable internet provider, and eventually it went bankrupt. So, I mean, the story that was carried by a story. The cable internet story was hot. Internet story. AOL. Time Warner, AOL became bigger than Time Warner. Time Warner bought them for that ridiculous market cap. Or AOL bought Time Warner. I don't remember which way it was. But, I mean, this is what we are in. We are in the age of right now, information age. And information's passed around through social media and, everything, everybody's pumping out their story over here. And, it's all about a story right now. But eventually, fundamentals do matter. So if you're trading, trade with the story. If you're long-term investing, just be careful. If you're buying stuff, on hopes and dreams, eventually a lot of those hopes could get dashed. So just be careful. That's all I'm saying. If you're
Is that a Shark
stories,
T-shirt you got on, Dennis? Shark?
It's Daddy Shark.
Daddy Shark. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait, what about for those of us who bought and hold for 20 years our Beanie Babies? What would they people like me?
Well, I got those. My mom's got a whole pile of those.
Yeah.
Somebody get some money for those Beanie Babies?
Yeah.
I'll sell those Beanie Babies. My mom's got like the princess one, like the Diana princess one. Let's go.
Let's go.
Mom, if you're listening, we got to get... Mom, we need the Beanie Babies now. We're selling those things. $100 a baby. Let's go.
The Beanie Babies now.
The sports cards market is blasted off. I got a bunch of hockey cards. I got to sell those things too. Sell all this stuff. But you know what it is? It's that money is free and money's getting thrown around and it doesn't know where to go and it's trying to find a home. And it's finding a home over here and it's finding a home in these speculative stocks. It's finding a home in penny stocks. It's finding a home in Bitcoin and crypto. It's finding a home in sports collectibles. It's finding a home in baby Beanie Babies. It's just looking for something besides cash because cash is trash.
Yeah.
I saw or I heard that someone bought some. I don't even know what player it was.
Hodl the Beanie Babies. Don't sell that.
Hodl the Beanie Babies. My mom's been hodling the Beanie Babies for 30 years, man. Whenever the hell they came out.
Joel,
we got garbage bags full of those things. You want Beanie Babies? We'll sell them.
Joel, what were you going to say?
We're starting a Beanie Baby selling,
pre-market
exchange
token.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I heard, I can't remember. It wasn't even like a really big player, but it was I don't know if it was a video or something, but someone bought it for like 22 grand. And then the next day they flipped it for like 40 grand.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I don't. The real estate market too.
Oh,
I mean, it's gone just silly. I don't know, like where you guys are, but up here in cottage country, there's places that we're selling for like literally in the town, not even on the water. The average house in the town was like 5 years ago was 200 grand. It's like 600 grand now. Like housing prices have doubled in like the last 3 or 4 years, like doubled, and maybe in some places even more than that. I mean, there is just money being thrown around everywhere right now.
Yeah. The Wall Street Journal has had a number of good stories about people just buying
My mom
houses.
says her Beanie Baby's not for sale. She just she's listening. The Princess Beanie stays. She's hodling the Beanie Babies.
Diamond hands, baby.
Diamond hands on the Beanie Babies.
All right.
She said no in 3 separate texts.
That's gonna
Princess stays, not for sale. Hodl those Beanie Babies.
All right. It's going to be a wrap for our show today. Thanks to our guest, Mish Schneider from MarketGauge. Thanks to all of you in our chat. Once again, this show is available as a podcast. If you're listening to this show via podcast, please remember that all the information on our show is meant for informational purposes only, not for investing or trading advice. Opinions expressed do not represent those of Benzinga, merely the hosts and guests and y'all people in the chat. Hit that like button once again on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, wherever you are watching this. We appreciate that as well. Check out our swag store. That's at swag.benzinga.com. Email us with any questions, comments, concerns, premarket@benzinga.com. I think I've said my spiel. Yes, I have. So here's how things is going to go for the day. Pre-market prep. It's going to be a wrap for that. Thanks a lot, Joel. I will talk to you at 3:30 or so
Okay.
in the
Sounds good.
afternoon. All right. See you, Joel.
Adios. Have a
Oh, I just cut Joel off. Sorry about that, Joel. So here's how this is going to work. We are doing separate streams and one long stream today. We're doing both. We've taken your feedback. Some people liked the separate stream. Some people hated it. So we're like, let's just make everyone happy and do both at the same time. So this stream, I say this stream because there's two. One of these streams is going to end essentially, and when that happens at 9:30, Get Technical with Neil is going to start. You'll know it ends. I guess if your stream ends, then you'll know. If you're watching the pre-market prep on YouTube with 1,500 viewers right now, that stream will end. If you're watching the all day, it's called on YouTube. It's called Benzinga All Day Stream. That's how you know if you're in the all day one or not the all-day one. The all-day one will automatically, there will be a slight transition, but that will go over to the next show at 9:30, and pre-market prep, that stream will end for the day. So that's how we're going to do things going forward. You can do the all-day stream, you can do the individual streams, whatever floats your boat, whatever works for you, and we're going to see if this works because we're trying to make you all happy. So we've taken some feedback and we're going to try that for today, and hopefully it goes well. I saw somebody in chat say that the link to the Kathy Wood contest is not working. Please tell me if that's true. I'm putting the link back in chat right now, and I'm actually going to pin it to the top of I'm going to put in both chats here. Put it in both, and here's we have so many damn chat rooms. Putting this link in every chat room that I can. Okay. That link is again to submit your question to Kathy Wood. The interview is going to air tomorrow. It's going to air live tomorrow at 2:00 Eastern time, right here on our YouTube channel. Jason Raznick and Kathy Wood for about an hour or so, I believe. And yeah, submit your question. We're going to draw them at random. And you can have your question. Obviously, we're going to, if it's not a serious question, we're not going to ask it. But if you ask a serious question and it gets drawn, it will be asked. And we are hoping that this gets people excited because we've been trying to get this interview nailed down for a couple months. She's a very busy, sought-after person. So we are very excited to have Kathy Wood on at 2:00 tomorrow. What else did I want to say? There's a few other programming notes I wanted to say here. I'll just go over today's schedule because the schedule is always changing and we're still trying to nail things down. But we've got Get Technical with Neil Hamilton at 9:30. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. Okay, March is Women's History Month. So beginning today and for the next 3 Tuesdays, there's 5 Tuesdays in March. We're going to do today, the 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd. So for those first 4 Tuesdays in March, we're doing a special show at 10:30 Eastern time, a women in fintech show, with one of my colleagues. Her name is Jordan, and she's going to interview. Every show will have 3 different people from around the fintech or financial services industry talking about their backgrounds, how they got to where they are. There is still a very large gender gap in our industry. We are trying to close that. And if you know anybody who is interested in joining women, it doesn't have to be, it could be women or men. It'll be at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time right here on YouTube. It's called Women in FinTech. It's an hour-long special. Again, for the first 4 Tuesdays of March, so the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd. And again, the idea is we're just trying to promote diversity. We something we could all do a better job at. And women are making more money than they ever have. They're controlling more of the household finances than they ever have. And yet there is still a massive gender gap in this industry. So the link. Great question, Eliana. If you go to youtube.com/Benzinga, you can see right there at the top of the page, it says upcoming live streams. Okay. That's where all of our streams are scheduled. There is a link right there. I'll put it in chat for you. How about that? I'll make it one step easier. That's the wrong one, Spencer. Here we go. Here is the link in chat 1. Chat 2, chat 3. Gosh, so many damn chats. Chat number 4. You guys, I can't keep all these chats straight. I'm sorry. So highly recommend that. This is going to be something that we've been wanting to do. Wish we had done it for February, but we're doing it for March for Women's History Month. So today we've got 3 guests. As I mentioned, every show will be 3 guests with our host Jordan, just going through how they got to where they are, advice for women who want to break into the space, and we hope that we hope that it inspires somebody, because that's kind of the point. We're just trying to promote diversity, and we all need to do a better job of that. I think we all get so wrapped up in our day-to-day and in the market, and the stock is up and Bitcoin is up and whatever, this is down, and it's easy to lose sight of the big picture, and we're trying to do that here. So okay, that'll be at 10:30. I think it's going to cut into SPACs Attack a little bit, and maybe Mitch can come on and clear the air, because I don't know if you're here, Mitch. Oh, you are here. Hello. Is SPACs Attack gonna get bumped to half hour, or what's the plan there?
What's the plan there is SPACs Attack's going to be starting at 11:15. We're going to be doing a little bit of headlines until we get into our interview, which is Bullhorn CEO, guys, BHSE.
BHSE, the CEO of BHSE on SPACs Attack today.
Don't miss that out, guys. That's going to start about 11:20, 11:30-ish, somewhere in between there. What we're going to do is we're just going to run through some headlines as the women in fintech finish off, and then we'll be switching into our interview.
Chat's funny. We can trade stocks, but we don't know how to find chat. That's exactly it. Thank you very much.
That's
okay.
the life.
Hey, that's the life, right? Okay, so CEO of BHSE, that'll be on SPACs Attack at 11:15. Rob Stryer, Bullhorn Holdings. We've got the Zinger Nation Power Hour at noon, as is always there every day. Robert Roy, he's going to do options at 12:30. We've got Steve Kalajian, who's been on pre-market prep before from Ticker Talker. He'll be on at 1. And then another options guest at 1:30. We've got the that'll be options, Mike. We've got the crypto show, the BZ Crypto Show, which is airing 2 days a week, every Tuesday and Thursday. On today, 2:00 Eastern Time. Myself and Catherine Ross, who is the Benzinga crypto editor. Biotech Buzz at 2:30. What we're going to do with Biotech Buzz, actually, starting today, we're going to scale it back a little bit. 5 days a week is a lot. So what we're doing starting today is Biotech Buzz is going to air Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2:30 right here on our YouTube channel. So Tuesdays and Thursdays starting today. So you'll hear from Vivi today, and then again on Thursday, and then repeat ad nauseum. 3:00, my ETF show. Guys, I've done 1 ETF show so far. I think what I'm going to do is end up doing the show 2 days a week, but for now I have it just on the schedule for 1 day a week. What I'm going to do for the ETF show is, if you missed the Benzinga Cannabis Capital Conference on Thursday and Friday, I'm going to re-air a small part of it. I'll do some ETF news and some headlines, and we'll take questions, but I want to re-air a segment with Advisor Shares. They explained their 2 cannabis ETFs, and I'm going to re-air part of that if you missed it last week. That'll be at 3:00 Eastern Time until 3:30. We've, of course, got pre-market prep at the close. Joel, myself, and Rob Friesen from Bright Trading. If you don't know Rob Friesen, Rob is Dennis's boss, basically. So he... Actually, I think he's Dennis's boss. Him and Joel go back years and years and years, just like him and Dennis do. So that'll be at 3:30 or 3:40, and we're starting a new show today. We're gonna experiment with something. Ryan Rosbiani, who was on Get Technical yesterday, he's been on a couple of our shows in the last few weeks, is going to have his own show at 4:00 Eastern Time. Just walking through what he's seeing, what he's trading, setups, and we're trying to experiment. We're trying to bring new shows on. We asked yesterday in the middle of the day what kind of shows y'all want to see, and the biggest takeaway was y'all want to see a fundamental analysis show. So we are working on bringing one of those to you, a show basically about how to do your DD, right? How to do your due diligence, what to look at, financial statements, ratios.
Does that matter anymore?
That's what people want. That's what the people want, and I have a feeling it'll end up being more of a long-term focused show, because nobody who's trading uses the fundies. Like that's not really a thing. I think I don't never met a trader that's like, oh well, the PE just went higher. Then I'm gonna short it. It's over. I don't know no one who does that. Maybe they do. But I think what people want is more of a longer term, either like long-term swing trades or even just investing and how to do your fundamental research. So we are working on bringing that to you, and we'll let you know when that happens. But
all right, I'm giving you the boot, Spencer. I'm
give me
getting
the
to
boot?
stocks. I'm getting to stocks. People want to talk some stocks here. Let's get back into stocks here.
Okay,
10
all
minutes
right.
before the bell.
I'm going to let you run with this. I'll see you all over on Get Technical. I'm going to hop out.
Yeah. Let's get to some stocks, guys. So what's going on, guys? Anything you guys see on the Gapper scanner that you guys are taking a look at, let me know in the chat. I can take a look before we get to the open here. But one thing I definitely wanted to do is just kind of look at the Gappers and see what we're seeing here. One that's known, SOS, is having a bounce back from $4. This one's going to be interesting today, as this one made a massive move and then pulled back to about 4, and then it's been bouncing up. It's a little bit high on the day, so it's closer towards that $8 resistance. Be careful with that $8, but I think if it gets above 8 today and really holds with some good volume, it can maybe make a move back up, closing this gap up towards 10. So keep your eyes on that one, guys. Of course, Rocket. What can I say about Rocket, guys? This was my first loser of the year. I actually got out right here on this day to crack 20. I got in here around 21.30s and I was going to risk towards the $20. And when it cracked that 20, I had to get out and I took a hit here. But this is just a story of that washout, right, guys? So they washed out a lot of retail traders on this day here, the 23rd of February. And it went down towards a low of 1870. So, yeah, if I would have been holding, that would have been really scary that day because I would have been down a significant amount going past my limit. So I'm kind of happy that I got rid of it. But as you guys see it, it's back up there, $27 now. Big rip. People were waiting for this one for a long time. I actually made some money on this first pop. Tried to buy it back to get the second pop, and I got stopped out. So, hey. That's the way it goes, guys. But it's looking good today as it's getting up there towards 27. But I think we could get a hard pullback coming up soon. Just be careful in Rocket. All right, seeing some mention of some other stocks here. Of course, Mara. I mean, but that's just a Bitcoin stock, so I'm not going to really pay attention towards that. I don't see anything new there. Let's take a look here. It's moved down a little bit. I'm seeing Fubu here showing up. I know a lot of people like watching this one. I saw this one being mentioned here. MVIS. I saw John Shitan going ahead and mention this one. So let's go ahead and take a look here. MVIS. All right, guys. So MVIS, guys. Let's take a look at a 15-minute here. See what I can see here. So really quickly, I can see right out the top, it's been ripping towards that 19. Getting above that 19, and it really had this kind of 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, came down towards the level 14, and now really that 14's kind of the line in the sand between the bulls and the bears, and now it's getting above this 18. So I'd pay attention to see how it's going to react at 20. Every time it's come towards that level before, we've gotten towards 21, but not much higher than that. You always get a little bit of a turnaround, so be careful in that area once we get up there towards 20. But definitely a big day, some significant volume. I keep an eye on this one. The only problem with this one is that it doesn't seem to be trading on a very close time schedule, but more along kind of this kind of deeper time frame. If you go to like the 1 hour chart, you'll see this downward slope and then a pop up, but it could pull back towards this 18 today. So keep your eyes on this one. That's MVIS. All right, guys, let's keep going through here, see what else I see. I'm seeing a lot of BFT. That's a Foley stock. That's a SPAC. We'll keep that one for a SPAC's attack. Fubo earnings after hours today. Thank you, Vegas. Appreciate you putting that up. All right, so PLTR, guys. A lot of people like this one. I know Kathy Woods like this one. So, hey, guys, if you haven't done it already, guys, go ahead and sign up, guys, for the live interview and contest to ask Kathy Woods a question. I know a lot of people out there probably have a question for Kathy Woods, so I'll put it up in the chat right now, guys. Definitely sign up today. We're going to be doing this tomorrow, so don't miss your chance to ask a question to Kathy Woods there. All right, so I'm going to put this link up in there. It should be in both chats now. You guys should be able to see it. Let's go back to my stock here. So PLTR, I actually have the support line drawn out. Let's take a look a little bit further back. Let's get on the daily or the weekly and see where it's going. So one thing I noticed on this pullback is that I drew out this line, right? And so I think it can come back a little bit closer towards this 2350 today. And that's kind of where I'd start measuring in some entries. But one thing I would mention, guys, is that you did get a kind of a big pullback here from the 40s down to about 25. So maybe it goes closer towards 21st, but definitely starting to see it level out a little bit. I would like to see this go sideways for like a week or two, maybe somewhere here between 24, 25, and just get some sideways action before it gets right back up. All right. Let's keep going through here. No worries, Max P. I'll get rid of the extra S in Kathy Woods so you don't get upset. Let's keep rolling through here. So I'm looking at FSR. This is a stock that is an old SPAC, one of my favorite ones. I actually was shouting this one out in the 15s, one of my story stocks. And man, look at this chart now. It's going to be definitely one of the charts that I missed because I got stopped out in the 14 area. But man, look at this chart now, up there almost at 30, and it's looking strong. I think this one could get the EVs started. So let's take a look here. XPEV. This is one that I'm watching to see when we're going to get that turnaround. I'm liking the support that we're near right now. So I'm starting to keep an eye on these Chinese EV plays. XPEV. You got LI. You can look at. This one's getting interesting too, getting near that support. I would look for a little bit closer towards 24, but getting interesting. Let's see how NIO is doing today. I know it took a hit, after that expected earnings, but the real key is, can it hold the 40s on this pullback? It held it yesterday. Let's see what happens today. I had this kind of little area drawn out, and I want to see if it kind of holds this on the pullback and gets back up there. All right, so seeing mention of CCIV, there's not much there I can say about that one. I'm seeing XL. All right, so let's look at XL. I also saw Plug at the top, so I'll take a look at Plug right after this one. All right, guys, so this looks interesting. I like the turnaround here. Let's take a look at the daily chart. One thing I'd say is this did find a bottom kind of closer towards that 14. So I'd look for an entry closer towards 15 so I can risk about $1 closer towards that 14. But definitely a nice pullback in this one. This one needs kind of a catalyst to really get it going. But I'm looking at this one also with RMO and certain ones that I'm in. I drew out this support line before. It looked like it keeps holding. Maybe we get a third test and you get a chance to get in near that line. But I'm going to keep an eye on this one. That's XL. All right, guys. I know a lot of people are mentioning some SPACs, but I'm going to keep going through here and keep rolling through here. I got a question here from Max P. Do you use the same signals for non-SPAC stocks as you do for the ones that you cover on SPACs? Yes, I actually do. The only thing that I would not use on SPACs is that I used to do a lot of day trading. So I used to do a lot of day trading off the VWAP, and I would not do day trading off VWAP for SPACs. That's how I differ there. I'm seeing mention about INSG Bio. I see you. Don't worry. Let me get the plug first, and then I'll get towards that INSG, which is a 5G play. Looks like it's about to be 9:30, guys. The bell's rung already, guys. So I'm just going to really quickly take a look at plug. Looks like we got to bounce off 45. There's too much gappage here for me to try to get in here now. I would stay away from this one right now. It's kind of stuck in the middle, and I never want to be a pig. I always want to be either a bull or a bear. All right, guys, so looks like Get Technical is getting started up now. Let me go ahead and pull this up, see if we got a live stream up here. and we'll be switching over on the all-day stream here. So that's going to do it for us on Pre-Market Prep, guys. Like always, hit the like button, hit the smash that subscribe bell down below. One of the things is if you hit that bell, you'll be notified the moment we go live, and we're going to keep working hard, whether it's the all-day stream, Pre-Market Prep. We try to listen to the feedback, guys, so give us feedback. Let us know what you want to see, what you want more of, what you want less of, and how you want the show to run. At the end of the day, you guys run the show, not us. We go off of your feedback, so it'll be greatly appreciated if you guys put the feedback. All right, I'm going to start posting the link here so that we can switch on over to, if you want to switch over to the live stream of the separate show of Get Technical, or you can stay on the all-day stream. You guys that are watching right now on the all-day stream here, I'm going to go ahead and put the next show and pull up Get Technical. All right, guys, so I'm going to be ending Pre-Market Prep here. You guys get on over to Get Technical. I'll put up the link here in the chat, and you guys get on over there. All right, guys, so you guys should be seeing it if you're seeing it on Pre-Market Prep, and I'll see you guys next time on Pre-Market Prep. Definitely, guys, smash the like button. Move over to Get Technical. It's starting up. I'll see you guys next time.